Are you feeling okay? As soon as I tapped in, things were just chaotic. I don't need to tell you that. But things are gonna get better. Maybe let's just take a breath. Listen to the sound of the cards shuffling. I know I flipped a couple, but I didn't jump out. Here it is. All right, sweetie. Things are okay. You're okay. It's okay. You're okay. It's okay. Isn't that Tate McRae? It's okay. I'm okay. We did get blessings in reverse. So I think we also got forgiveness in the reverse. So there is an aspect of this chaos that feels familiar, almost productive even, where you associated this with blessings. And I feel that you are now starting to forgive yourself, forgive other versions of yourself that were really attached to working for your worth, proving your worth. Part of you was even excited about it at some point. Sometimes maybe you do still get a little excited about it. And you're learning to forgive yourself for being eager to do that. Or being eager to prove yourself in terms of work or relationships. You're even forgiving other people that made you feel like you had to do that. And ultimately, there are blessings behind that. I think you already know that, and that's why you're doing that work. So good for you, because it's not easy, or everybody would do it. But ultimately, you know it must be done. Even the people that are currently disappointing you. There's a part of you that knows that you still have to forgive them too. We got divine timing at the bottom of the deck. And healing. Yes, sweetie, you're doing the work. And that's why you're so tired. That's why you're sleeping more. That's why you have headaches. As you're letting so many different things come up to the surface. And yes, I agree. It would be really lovely if 404, you could just pull out the weeds from the garden and then it was just all the lovely things left behind. But the thing is that you actively are the garden and the plants and the gardener. So not only is this a symbiotic relationship between the parts of you that you're unrooting and releasing, but also the soil that has been displaced, right? We're realizing that that was part of the foundation. That was part of the things that you relied on, right? So weeds or not, that was really what happened, where you did make space, but 505 in a way that did call for change, and you're still filling in the gaps while you're waiting for the seeds to sprout. But the reality is that soil needs air too. Roots need air, right? You needed to make that space through forgiveness, through releasing resentment, through the healing. And it had to happen as it had to happen. I know divine timing can be such a 545. Divine timing can be such a hopeful thing, but then sometimes it feels like it's out of your hands. But I'd like to remind you that when we're living in the present moment, this time actively magnetizes everything to us, where you can really only see the perspective of your past through divine timing, because you've got all those pieces lined up in a way that says, yeah, it makes sense that this had to happen because then that made this happen, and then I chose that, and then this happened after that, which led me here. And I think you're learning how to be happier about that. We got new love in the reverse. I feel like you have decided that forgiving yourself and everybody else is the only way to get what you want. And part of you feels like, oh, okay, great, now I know what to do. And then the other part is like, yeah, but that's like the last thing that I wanted to do. In fact, I wanted to get all of these blessings so that I could shove it in their face for treating me like shit. Or I wanted to, transmute all my spite into blessings. And while I understand that, I think you already know that it doesn't really balance out like that. And in fact, the thing that would make you feel the most free and connected to yourself would be to let go of these past versions of yourself and of everybody else. And this can be new love in all of your relationships, primarily for confirmation. Primarily prioritizing the relationship you have with yourself. And you're getting divine guidance here, knowing that forgiveness is the next step, right? So there's a part of it that is a little scary because you're like, oh, I don't know what to do next. But that is part of it. Yeah. I think you already know that you have good things already headed for you. And when this happens, and I say when because we're going to cover our children here. When this happens here, you won't be surprised because you've been preparing.